White Steve.
Steve.
Hi, gentlemen.
What's up, dude?
Nothing. Did all right last week out in the desert, and got the nap right after the red eye, which was key, and didn't set me back for the week. So we're here.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
time.
You were in Vegas. What did you
Yeah, I
do
was.
while you were in Vegas?
We won some cash.
Yeah?
There's a benefit to being out there, and there's certain guys that tell you what you should do, and when you do it, it always turns out well. And I had the best omen possible going down to the sports book Saturday morning, and the first person I see is Uncle Brett Musburger.
Ooh.
And I'm like, all right, this day is going to be awesome. Awesome.
Just hanging out in the sports book?
Yep. He's the best.
He's not the guy who tells you what to do, is he?
No. Those are other people.
But what were your plays?
But Uncle Brett knows those people.
Oh, good. What were your plays?
Yeah. We ended up just going all overs in the big college games. And then on Sunday, we went Giants. And at 4 o'clock, we were told to take the under in the Kansas City-Buffalo game. And that was easy. That was very easy. And then doubled up on the Eagles.
I got to say, though, it wouldn't have been quite as cozy if they had scored touchdowns on those first 2 red zone drives early in the game. You had a pick in the end zone and then something else.
Correct.
I mean, so that was once that happened, you kind of felt like if you were on the over, you were going to be sweating the whole day.
No doubt, because you know it more than anything. Being in the book all day Saturday and then having a good setup on Sunday, the idea of how much the clock runs more in the NFL is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you just see the totals, and then you just see that 50 number, but both quarterbacks you're going to have to deal with. But when you see those two things happen early, those are huge gets if you have the under. So it worked out really, really well, and happy to be home and talking to you guys on what feels like a normal day.
Well, me and possibly Macon are going to be headed to Vegas in a month or two.
Nice.
There's a chance, like one of those, if 538 did a thing on Macon going to Vegas, I think it's 17%.
538 is wildly inaccurate, I found, on most things. Seriously.
538 goes 65% Macon to
right.
Vegas.
There's a much better chance of my going to Vegas if I can get. I don't even need the Steve connect. I just need the text message from Steve about the Bills Chiefs under.
Yeah, can we get that text message, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, in the future.
Sure.
Next time.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So, what are the code breaks in a sports book? Like, what are the no-nos, like the unwritten rules of enjoying a game in a sports book? Because there, you can walk through the wrong line of sight. You can block the view. You can be yelling. What are the code breaks?
Well, first of all, shout out to Vaughn and his crew at Blondie Sports Bar, which is in the mall near Planet Hollywood. That's where we had our setup.
Yeah.
So we had an unbelievable setup. But I think the most important thing is to situate yourself accordingly. You're not going to have every single game. And that was the hardest thing about Saturday. Out there you got everybody from everywhere. So, the Mariners 18-inning baseball game is on a TV. Every time I look up there's 2 outs and nobody on. Chris, you would have loved that game if you sat through that.
18 innings?
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, they went 18 innings, 1-0.
I kind of tapped out on Big Dumper like last week. if I'm going to watch any baseball right now, it's probably going to be the Phillies.
There you
go.
go.
I did not watch the Mariners. They went 18 innings.
Yeah.
That's how their season is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like that was what night was that?
Saturday.
Yeah, I was predisposed.
Yeah. I don't know about code. Like, you're going to deal with a lot of people that are more exuberant than you are.
Yes.
And some people can't tune that out. I can. But I think that's where major problems come in, is you get so many first-timers that are in this situation for the first time that don't know how to act, whether it's alcohol intake, loudness of self and not realizing how loud someone is.
Loudness of self.
A group of people, where the loudness is, extramental.
Yeah.
So It is it wasn't my first rodeo, okay?
Yeah.
So I know what I need and how I need to go about it.
No, you're a seasoned vet. You're not pissing anybody off in the
nothing's getting in my
sports book,
way
dude.
of a good time.
Plus,
there.
people know you, man. You get stopped, don't you? You get stopped in sports books. I feel like a sports book is the place that Stanford Steve is like Tom Cruise.
So Friday night I get there, I go right to meet my guys for a dinner.
His guys.
And we're at the bar waiting for our table. And I feel this guy at the bar just, with the stare, just grill him. And I'm like, just having a drink, watching the end of I think it was Padres.
Phillies.
Padres, Dodgers,
Dodgers?
Maybe? No, it was Padres.
What kind of drink?
Friday. Probably Tito's and soda.
Nice.
Okay. So the guy, I can just feel him here. And I'm like, I'm not giving in. If he wants to say hello, he'll say hello. So we get up to go to dinner, and he's got his phone out, and he's got my ESPN.com column up with my picks. So he's just fully in his phone, and I just gave him a good whack walking by. I'm like, who do we like today?
Oh, yeah. Take the air out of it as a celebrity, Steve. Take the air out of it.
So had a good ha-ha laugh and went and dominated some steak.
Well, let's dominate some college football, shall we?
Yeah.
I mean, Steve, your UCLA will make the playoff talk. Kind of comes down to this week a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, not ultimately, but
I have a wild card for my fourth team.
A wild card?
Yep.
Who?
UCLA.
Wow.
21 guys graduated. 21 are graduated, and they're in grad school at UCLA. They got plenty of leadership on that team. I think Charbonnet is an ultimate dark horse for the Heisman Trophy. I think he's up at like 70, 80, maybe even 100 to 1, depending on your book. They get Utah at home. They play USC, obviously, later in the year. I think they go to Oregon, but I think the road is there. I love how everybody's talking about Utah and USC, and I'm a believer in Chip, and I think with the veteran guys and the things that he could do in the run game that are a pain in the ass to game plan for, I like UCLA laying in the weeds there. Yeah, I've thought about that a lot this week, and knowing that it's almost been 2 weeks too, because they and Oregon both were on a bye last week. The problem is going through everything. Oregon has absolutely owned UCLA. They've won 9 of 10. Chip's 0-3. Bo Nix has played great since the Georgia game. But when I look at Oregon, I'm not sold on who they've beaten. Listen, new coach, new program, transfers, everything. They've gotten their feet on the ground running, and they do have plenty of talent. This is their biggest test so far. I thought BYU would be a test. We saw BYU hasn't turned out to be anything. Stanford, no. I love the win at Notre Dame. I'll take that. But then, you go to Arizona. I'm not there. But Oregon has 3 monster home games left. They got UCLA, Utah, and Washington. So we're going to know about Oregon more, in the coming weeks. But UCLA is in a spot. The line tells you I think you should take Oregon, but I can't because of what I just talked about with Oregon and being tested and if they're for real. And UCLA, I just feel like I know what I have more to know there. The offense has tremendous balance. They got pass rushers. I go back and watch the film of Utah, USC, and what sticks out is the greatness on offense, but there's not a lot of stoppage on the defensive side. So I think the under is the play in this UCLA-Oregon game.
Really?
I do. I think both defenses are more capable. Both head coaches are going to want to run the football more than the two teams we saw. And I know that game, I'm just trying to compare it because those are the 4 best teams in the Pac-12. And I think they're as good of 4 teams from that conference that we've seen in a long time. Like, I would put those 4 up against anybody across the country. But I think there's more resistance here on the defensive side. There's more talent on the defensive side. And I think it's not going to be a freewheeling up and down the field game. And the number, tells you that. It's 70.5, I think, or 70 around there.
69.5.
It's a hold on to your butts, close your eyes special. But I think the under is the way to go here.
So T's got checking in here. Could I tease? Could I tease the
+12,
the over down to 63 or whatever it would be, and catch 13 points or 12 points to be exact.
He's going to tell you to go over up.
He's gonna tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that's what I mean. I mean the over. Tease the over down. Tease the over down.
He's going to tell you to go up.
I would go under
up.
He's going to want you to do plus 12 and 78.
How did that teaser go I gave you last week?
Which was?
Both the totals.
I don't remember. I didn't play
Didn't that hit?
I'm 67% on NFL this year and don't bet any of my plays and just lose all my money on freaking Chinese basketball.
Well,
hey, Steve, we're going to gas you up and play your UCLA preseason thoughts here. But as you're a gambler, you're a line stepper. How do you stay married to your preseason picks? There's nothing I hate more when some talking head says, "Well, I picked the Chiefs and the frickin' who gives a shit." Is your UCLA pick to play in the college football playoff clouding your view at all here of UCLA Oregon? Does it in general? Do you want to manifest your predictions?
Very good question. I see where you're coming. I think the question could be asked better, but I know where you're going with this.
I'm sorry, Steve. It's 12 o'clock.
I don't know what kind of
I haven't had lunch.
I don't know what kind of funk you're in, but you're going to get out of it. All right. By the time I leave here, you are out of this funk.
All right.
Maybe you got to unzip the coat. I mean, it's not that cold out.
It's all right. Let's keep going.
All right.
I got a better question, Steve.
It's not. It's a great question.
I got a better question.
He was about to answer it.
Okay, he's about to answer, or is he moving on? Go ahead, answer the question, and then I got one.
A great question, poorly asked.
It doesn't cloud my view of UCLA games. I'm not going to bet on them this week. I don't think.
All right.
I already have my money on them, and I'm not one of these hedge guys, but it's something I'm holding on to with the picks on .com only being 1 over 500. It hasn't been the greatest year, but we also have this podcast with NFL picks that I look at to help the resume.
Yeah.
So, no, to answer your question, no, it was a belief I had before the season, and it feels pretty good to get this far and feel right about the page in the direction that they were going.
Why does it matter when they say like 9 of the last 10 straight up, blah, 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 blah? There's different coach on these fucking teams every 3 years. Like Chip Kelly's been at UCLA a while, but Lanning's new. Like, does it matter generally, or do we overblow some of those numbers like over a decade?
Well, being a gambler, those things stick in my head, Chris. Like seeing UCLA and go to Austin and not win, like that I can't not forget that stuff. But I totally get where you're coming. It should mean less. It might not even mean anything with the way the transfer portal goes and coaches leaving get up and go. So I get where you're coming from there. It's just that I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something I've thought of in trying to handicap this game.
Will Chip get a big welcome?
He's been there before. I think it was 2 years ago. He went in as a huge dog and had them on the ropes.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was asked the question, Chip going back to the place he put on the map. That's totally false. All right, Chip would be the first guy to tell you that.
Well,
Mike Bellotti and Rich Brooks put Oregon on the map. Chip took them to places they hadn't been.
right.
And that's the national championship game and being in the playoff talk and the BCS talk there. So, yes, I think he is pretty revered back there. He should be for the places that he took them. So, as mean as they could be in Eugene, I could see a little golf clap at the beginning, and then it's, roll up your sleeves because those people, they got that field house in the back where you could go and get all you want to drink, and they come back in rearing to go.
Bevel Conway watch, depending on what Oregon rolls out. I don't know what Oregon's wearing this week.
Oregon's a wild card.
A total wild card.
And as cool as Alton is, that really two-toned green on the field is rough.
Yeah, you're right. If it was at the Rose Bowl, we'd be talking about Bevel Conway.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about a game that's not going to go Bevel Conway? It's a fucking orange orgy up in or down in Death Valley. It's just too much orange. But the total.
Well, there's 2 this week.
There's 2 orange Where? Where else?
Yeah, you got Oklahoma State and Texas.
Oh God, dude. Oh God. Okay, Syracuse at Death Valley playing Clemson. 49.5 is the total. 13.5 is the line. It's a lot of points, right? Or do you think Syracuse stinks low key as much as we do?
I don't think they stink. I think they're limited in what they could do offensively, and they're making the most of those limitations. As you know, with an offensive coordinator, the kid Schrader, who's a transfer from Mississippi State, has had his best season. The run game is legit. The defense, I think, has been a benefit of not playing the best offenses. And when you look at this matchup, say what you want, Clemson still scored 30 in every game. But when I look at Clemson, that whole front eight, that puts their hands in the dirt, is back and healthy, and that's what scares me. Syracuse hasn't faced anything like that. And if you guys wanted to talk playoff stuff, I think our site on Daily Wager had Clemson at minus 125 to make the playoff. I don't see anything getting in the way. It's Syracuse. It's a trip to Notre Dame against that outfit we saw last week. Then it's 3 home games, which are Louisville, Miami, and South Carolina. And if the season ended today, they would play the winner of North Carolina and Georgia Tech in the ACC title game. So I think minus one, right around minus 125, Clemson to make the playoff. Because listen, undefeated Clemson is getting in the playoff.
Yeah, no question.
I don't care what happens.
No question. It's funny. We started the year off and we were like, oh, this is the year. There's so much. There, Clemson's down. There's some challengers. Like NC State's kind of fun. Like UNC might be good. They've been good lately. High-powered offenses. Florida State. Norvell had them going. I mean, he still got them going. But, Clemson is going to the playoff, dude. And I don't know if they cover this weekend. But I don't know. I would bet Clemson here. I think this is put your nuts on the table and lay all those points.
I'll be surprised if Syracuse scores more than 17.
And Clemson has scored 30 or more in every game this season.
Correct.
There you go.
So there you go. Clemson probably going to cover.
Hey, Steve.
That's the map.
We play a little game on this show called Thursday Night Time Machine, where Chris and I try to guess the score of the Thursday night football game in the NFL. There's one in college football. Our tonight, your yesterday. It's Virginia and Georgia Tech, the potential coastal representative in the ACC championship game, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. What is your final score for the Wahoos and the Ramblin' Wreck?
Wahoos win 5-3.
Chris, you played in one of those once upon a time.
A 5-3?
7-5.
7-5. Oh, yeah,
Carolina.
Virginia, UNC, dude.
Yep.
My goodness.
Really?
Yeah, 7-5 down there in Chapel Hill.
Did you play well?
I had an interception. I was thinking about that the other day, bro. I jumped up to block a pass and it just landed in my chest somehow.
And you ran with it.
And I ran with it, but then John Copper couldn't block TJ Yates, and he clipped me from the side, dude, on the sideline. I ran out of fucking real estate.
High knees, bro.
High knees, bro. I didn't even know what I was doing out there with the rock.
Those days are over.
Yeah, those days are definitely over. Okay.
Did you have it in the right hand?
Yeah, had it in the right hand.
All right.
Switched the ball, I think. I don't know.
The problem with how old we are, the tape doesn't
Raycom,
exist.
dude. It's like, no, it exists, but it's so grainy. So grainy.
Did you wear the Lane Johnson forearm sleeves?
No, not in college.
No, okay.
So
NFL you did,
NFL,
right?
I wore them some late, make you feel faster. You know what I'm saying? Okay, to no avail. Texas, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State catching almost a touchdown, 6.5. Total 61. Spencer Sanders' shoulder injury might keep him out of the game. And that Texas passing offense against Oklahoma State's passing defense seems like an edge. Cowboys are allowing 301 yards per game through the air. So what do we think here?
It all comes down to that Spencer Sanders deal, because late Friday night out in Vegas, there were whispers that Spencer Sanders was not going to play against TCU. And then obviously he plays. They jump out 17-point lead in the first half. Can't hold on to it. TCU too strong in the end, win in overtime. But I need to know about Spencer Sanders here, because Texas's defense has not been great since the Alabama game. They didn't have Quinn Ewers. They go to Lubbock, Texas, and lose in overtime Bijan put it on the turf in overtime. I think they win if he doesn't do that. But they gave up over 330 passing, over 4 something, total offense in that game. And then last week, in kind of a hangover situation, after the Red River, Iowa State comes in, who's just pitiful on offense. Iowa State had their first game of over 400 yards of offense against an FBS opponent. So that kind of scares me from Texas's side. I guess if Spencer Sanders doesn't play, the line might move over a touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't know the situation with Oklahoma State behind him at quarterback. He's done everything. He's played as well as anybody in the country. So it's a stay away from me. It's something to keep an eye on, though, with the Spencer Sanders health. If he plays, I would take the home dog.
You might want to ask your friends in the desert. Those friends, mysterious friends in the desert.
We got to wait. Got to wait.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Backup quarterback Gunter Gundy.
Gunter Gundy?
Oh.
Redshirt freshman Gunter Gundy.
News just broke?
No, he is the backup quarterback.
Got it.
That's Gunnar.
Which is so fucking crazy because I can remember being however old I was when Mike Gundy did the "I'm a man, I'm 40" speech.
Yep.
And I was like, that's what a 40-year-old man looks like. Man, I'm going to be pretty grown up when I'm 40. And I'm almost 40. And sometimes I think about that. I'm like, I'm almost Mike Gundy's age when he gave that rant. Mm-hmm. Or Paul Rudd's age in that movie, This Is 40.
That's right.
Those have been my two,
Or Steve Carell in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. It didn't look so bad in the movies or in that press conference, but it kind of fucking sucks, dude, in real life.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just wait.
We're getting closer, Meg. All right, so, I guess the point is the guy's got a fucking kid, and the kid might play football this weekend for the Pokes.
Yeah, might go Texas if it's Gunter Gundy.
Gunter Gundy. Gunter Gundy.
Gunter Gundy.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. You
could have gone Gunter.
Well, actually, my last name I think of Atlanta or Toronto. The T silent.
Let's go Mississippi State, Alabama. Alabama laying 21 points. Is this scary? Like an angry Nick Saban? It's a lot of points, but should I just hammer the Tide this week?
Yeah, it's kind of tough with the news coming out of Starkville, too, with their offensive line passing. And I can't imagine what it's like to try and practice knowing, you got to go to Alabama and play a team that's off a loss, in the Tennessee game. So the matchup screams Alabama. That's why it jumped out to me when I first saw it on Monday. And then I remembered the game was in Tuscaloosa. And then I remembered Mike Leach's offense has scored 9 points in 2 games against Alabama. And when you go back to the last 4 times, I think they've scored a total of 16 points in those 4 games. The air raid system doesn't prioritize protecting the quarterback. He's supposed to throw off of guys that are coming. And Alabama has teed off on Will Rogers last year. And I just think it's a tough matchup, knowing everything that's going into the game now with Mississippi State and Alabama coming off of the loss.
Hey, is Ole Miss any good, dude, to be ranked 7? I mean, it feels like a lot of people are like, nah, we're not taking them seriously.
Well, I have a theory with undefeated teams. I'm glad they're 7 because they should be. They're a Power 5 team. They're undefeated. They haven't lost any games. You need to be rewarded for that. And, Felica and I talked on our podcast, did Alabama drop far enough down losing a game? Because that's where I have the problem is when these teams lose, now that we're in week 8, week 9, you have to drop them against the teams that are undefeated because they should have to make up more ground,
right,
knowing that they lost the game. And I get it. It was a top 10 loss with Alabama. But if UCLA wins at Oregon, they should go back ahead of Alabama, no matter what Alabama does this week. So with Ole Miss, the offense is as different, as complex a run game that I've watched on tape, and I think it's a bastard to plan for because of the split zone concepts, the speed they put, at those tight ends, nub tight ends, whatever you want to call them, and with LSU, I feel like they played their best game of the year last week. They incorporated more runs with the quarterback, with Jaden Daniels, getting healthy and being able to do things there. But I think it comes down to the discipline of LSU's defense. They have a good front four. They could get pressure there, but they got to be more, gap sound and more technically sound against this Ole Miss run game. And that's what worries me in this game. I think LSU is going to score. I think Ole Miss is going to score. I don't want anything to do with this game. Another thing you hate, Chris,
Yeah.
Ole Miss is 1-9 in their last 10 trips to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, and LSU was doing
head.
great before fucking noon when Tennessee came to town at 11 a.m. and beat the brakes off them. So
you're right.
It's just, yeah. And also Bevel Conway watch list right here. Oh, you had a really good pick last week, Florida and LSU. Like LSU can bring the best out of some teams.
And LSU likes to wear white at home.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So Ole Miss could go baby blues.
It's going to be beautiful. I mean, they might walk in.
Yeah.
So, on the topic of like colors that are almost the same and somehow the uniforms clash, Kansas State and TCU. We got a lot of these this week.
Yeah.
So TCU laying 3.5 at home, and I'm wondering what you think, Steve, because I got to be honest, I haven't watched a lot of this conference play football this year.
Understood.
It's the one blind spot for me.
It's as deep a conference as there is.
Okay.
I really think anybody can beat anybody. When you look at TCU, can they do it again? This is four straight ranked playing ranked opponents, and then I go back even a week farther when their coach went to play his old team in SMU. TCU in Dallas is a real big rivalry. So this is a 5-week stretch for TCU, and you go back to last week, down 17, come all the way back overtime. Now you got a pain in the ass in Kansas State who loves to play these games. Chris Kleiman, their head coach, has already 3 top 10 wins as his time in Manhattan. Kansas State, Adrian Martinez, quarterback, hasn't thrown an interception all year. Deuce Vaughn, a running back, could score from anywhere on the field. So all the things you want to go on the road and get an upset, Kansas State has. Mobile quarterback, run game, and now they're tied for 5th in the country at turnover margin at +8. That scares me for TCU. But the TCU offense is real. I mentioned Quentin Johnston last week. He's been on a tear the last couple of weeks. Duggan, I don't think is still getting enough love for what he's done in the situation he's stepped into and just taking that opportunity and running with it. It's going to be a high-level game. Not many night games you see at TCU. That's another thing I want to see here. You mentioned the uniforms. There'll be plenty of purple. It bit me last week. I had TCU minus the same number, and then they win by 3 in overtime.
Yeah.
So we didn't get there. I don't think it's as high scoring, but I do think TCU does win the game.
Is Deuce Vaughn he's a legit NFL guy?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's tiny, but he could go, man.
Yeah.
He's shifty, he's quick, and he's got elite burst and speed. I think he's definitely an NFL guy, especially now with all the different kind of schemes there are in the NFL. I think somebody will find a spot for him.
Real quick, last one here before we get to the awards and the locks. Iowa visiting Ohio State. The total is 49. Is that number for real? Is Ohio State?
They're saying it's 40-10.
30 points, which actually sounds like, when you talk it out, sounds about right. How do you play a total like this?
I break it down even more, Chris. I look at the team totals. Iowa is 9.5, and Ohio State is 30.
Doesn't that tell you kind of what they think? I mean, right there, it landed squarely on 30, right? But a lot of times there'll be a lean if you look at the two team totals. Do you think that looking at team totals can tell you a little bit about what Vegas actually thinks about the score of the ball game? More so than
no doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, do they?
No doubt. It makes me overthink things because I did the same thing in Alabama and A&M, and I didn't think A&M was going to score. I think their total was it was like 13.5.
Yeah.
So then they get you with the half there because 14 is a more common number than 13, and then they go on to score 20. So it definitely makes me think about it differently when you see a possible, what the predicted score is.
Yeah.
Iowa, they don't score 10. I mean, Ohio State's defense is better, but man, that's bad.
So you might bet the over here.
I think so. Reading what Ryan Day talked about, he's found motivation. They're off a bye. He's still talking about the loss that cost them a spot in the playoff when they went. The last time they played Iowa, they went there, and Iowa put up 55 on them. I don't think Iowa comes close to scoring half of 55. But, yes, I would lean Ohio. I would lean the over in this game.
Okay.
I would.
Okay. All right, let's get to your awards because I want them nice and early in this podcast before we get to the NFL. Usually we've been forgetting them.
Coughlin Award.
Easy. Very easy. Tweeted it out. Try to get some traction. Macon text me every week. Get more traction for this award. We need to make it big.
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid, Utah, 16 targets, 16 catches, 82 of 83 snaps, over 200-something yards, a tutty in there, H-back, blocking, split zone, reaching on the wide side, did everything. An incredible performance by Dalton Kincaid, and he is the Coughlin Award winner this week by a lot.
Dalton, that's a real tight end name.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. All right. Give me a Chang Award winner.
Timmy Chang Award is going to Kyle Van Treese, quarterback, Georgia Southern. Who did Georgia Southern beat last week, Macon?
You don't have to say
Probably
it. That's fine.
JMU.
James Madison.
Oh, did JMU lose?
They did.
Welcome to the outhouse, Reed.
We're still ranked 27th. We're still receiving votes.
That's not a
not ranked.
ranking.
That's not right.
That's not
Not a
right.
ranking.
Yeah.
Do they rank top 30 in FCS? Is that where you?
Yeah, that must
You
be
give
what
these-
it is.
You
You
give
know,
these JMU kids like 1 month in the spotlight, and they
Yeah.
want to be ranked at 27. You know?
Kyle Van Treese is from Stowe, Ohio.
Yeah.
Started his
Yep.
collegiate career at Buffalo,
Mm-hmm.
He did.
and now he's in.
You see that stat line last week?
Yeah, now he's in Statesboro or wherever the heck Georgia Southern
Yeah,
is.
good
Yeah,
job.
I'm
Is
not-
that in
that's-
Statesboro? Is
yeah.
Georgia Southern in Statesboro?
Yep, I'm going blind on that too.
578 yards, 4 tutties to beat a ranked
He's majoring in business administration in his 6th year.
Nice. What is that?
Mm.
What do you do after that? You
team. Buy a hotel.
Business administration.
Steve, what was your major?
Communications.
You do that well.
Nice, dog. What was yours?
Sociology.
Cool.
Yeah.
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 Anybody gonna ask me or?
What was your major, Macon?
English.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, let me
Yeah.
guess it.
Okay, you guess.
Econ.
English language and literature.
You got to work on your communications. He just said it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't hear. I didn't hear.
You know, it's all good. But econ would have played too.
Yeah.
All right. So, Reed, what was your major? Let's just go around the fucking room, huh?
sports and rec management.
Wow.
Business minor.
Whoa!
Wow.
Had a minor too.
How long were you in school for?
4 years. Made it out on time.
Oh, is that it?
Sounds like
Shit.
the parents weren't picking up rent
Well,
for another year.
Macon
for
wants
Reed.
an alley oop for the joke that he
No,
wanted
no,
me to
no.
walk into
Hey,
earlier.
I got it.
I don't have a degree. It's really slowing me down. The guy who's sending you who's signing your pay stubs doesn't have a degree.
Actually, I was wondering who's signing those because it's not you. It's some automated signature of a person I've never
you
heard
get
of.
the idea.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
So fuck the degree. All right. So, anyways, yeah, let's do a Helix sleep little deal here.
Hey, go to Helix on the internet. Do we have a promo code, Cowboy?
Green light.
Sick.
Promo code green light and get a hot little mattress.
Buy you
or
a mattress.
cool
No,
little
it's
mattress.
It's not gonna be hot. It's gonna be perfect for your
It'll
body
look
type.
hot.
It's gonna look hot, but it's
Yep.
gonna feel perfect. Helix mattress.
Use code Greenlight, Steve.
Okay.
Is mine in the mail with my microphone?
Who's sleeping good this week, Steve? That's good.
My sleeping good. Alex Golish, offensive coordinator, Tennessee Volunteers. As good of a game plan against an Alabama defense as I have seen in a long time. You go back and watch how he went about getting Hyatt in one-on-one situations against Alabama's nickel, Alabama's corner, Alabama's safeties. it was as precise and beautiful a thing to see. And people just, think it's just, Hooker dropping back and, Hyatt running deep.
No big deal.
Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, no, I got you. It's just when it comes out of nowhere, it's always fun.
It's one of those words that'll it brings you right in, huh? Look at Macon. Oh my Lord. I knew we'd get him out of the shell. I knew it. There we go.
No, that won't last.
Alex Golish, offensive coordinator, Tennessee.
Would Heupel be is he a head coach in the NFL one day?
Yeah, I could see that.
Macon can't. You guys argue about it.
First
not?
Take.
College coach. Here are my points. Played quarterback in college, and he's coached in college. Sounds like a college coach to me.
Okay, Sean Payton. I don't know if he's coached in college, but the motherfucker played quarterback in college. Sean McVay. Didn't Sean McVay do something in college? Didn't he have a
Miami of Ohio?
He might have been a quarterback.
Where Gruden went to Dayton?
Gruden, quarterback in college.
Yeah,
dogs. But Josh Heupel here, he coaches in college.
No,
I can't make that leap to the league.
I got you. Yeah. No,
just because of Urban Meyer, we're going to say this about every college coach now.
Oh, Nick Saban.
Saban wasn't awful.
He was just awful to play for.
Steve
from what it sounds like.
Well, I can't comment to that. But I mean, we gotta.
Okay, guys, that was a good argument. This is good. We should do this first take thing once. So here's who I have sleeping well.
Let's do it.
Look,
not you.
I'm looking at the slate. No, I slept 8 hours last night. First time I slept 8 hours in probably 3 months, dude. It was incredible. I was in bed by 12:20 a.m. So
got it.
All right. Had to think about that. Okay, who's sleeping well? The Jets, man. The Jets are sleeping well. I don't know if they win this week. I think they might win, but I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to play. Actually, I think the Broncos might be sleeping well because Russell Wilson might not play.
Brett Rippon.
And Brett Rippon might be the answer. That's the one tricky thing about this that game there is I don't know. Maybe that's one of those upgrades.
I stayed away.
Yeah, it's a stay away maybe. I didn't. I bet the Jets as soon as I could, but I got them at 3 or whatever it was early in the week.
I got Howie Roseman because the Saints are 2-4. How can you have it any better than sitting there at 6-0 and now a top 5 pick as it stands right now? I mean, that's Will Anderson territory with all these teams needing quarterbacks. And whatever they got a couple from the Saints that they then turned into A.J. Brown.
Yep.
And they just chilled out in the middle of the first and got Jordan Davis.
Yep.
Howie Roseman's looking like a genius.
He is looking like a fucking genius, and it's a bye week.
And he's got 4 kids, so you got to sleep.
You do have to sleep.
Helix.
Yeah. Do you want to give out some locks and GTFOH?
Yeah, for sure. Steve, and the thing I care about most in this world, a pool that I'm in, I went 5 for 5. I won the pot this week. Felt great. Thanks.
Did that go in the envelope for your niece?
Yeah, it's a good question. And
whatever happened with the envelope? Envelope.
Yeah.
So, okay, I get to the downtown mall here in Charlottesville, Steve. You know the downtown mall. And I'm heading for the bank right after our conversation about giving my niece an envelope full of cash. And I think, well, damn, then I'm going to have to go to the card store to get a card to put into the – and then I thought, you know what she would probably really like? All the things on the registry that she and her husband are asking for. I could kind of be the garbage man on the registry, just gobble up all those things that haven't been purchased yet. And so as we stand here today, my niece did not get an envelope full of cash, and I've yet to hit the registry. But that's the plan,
What if everything's gone on the registry?
Everything's going to be gone on the registry.
Look.
I would hate to be your nephew.
And niece.
No, but I couldn't be a niece because I'm a guy, so I was just...
Correct. Correct.
You know?
No, I'm a good uncle.
I'm trying to think of the girl here.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, I've already thought about her, and I'm sorry. I feel sorry for her. Especially because she probably listened to the pod, and she was like, yeah, I'm going to get some chickens.
You know, nice thing about that wedding, I didn't get the Stanford Steve at the bar in Vegas treatment.
I did give you, there's the one time you were happy about getting a lot of texts because you could not see Bama,
Yeah,
Tennessee.
I didn't have a TV,
There's
yeah.
incredibly, he did not have Bama, Tennessee
Nope.
anywhere near him.
Nope.
What were they doing? Actually, I don't feel bad for your niece at all.
Well, it was a little bit refreshing, I will say, just a reset. Just didn't unaware of everything, but you kept me abreast. And I appreciate that.
Let's give out some locks.
Hold on.
I gave my niece nothing.
Hold on 1 second.
just to clean that up.
No one cares about what is in the card, what the card says.
Well,
so just get the cash from the bank. They give you an envelope at the bank.
Yeah, I know. The other thing I was thinking about though, like, where do I put it? Like on it, is there a table? Because then, maybe I give it to homeboy who's married my niece because he's got a pocket.
He's got a pocket
in
right
the jacket.
Can we get the win bet lines up somewhere here? Yeah. And Reed, can you read out the standings because I think I'm going to go first again.
I fucked up. What do you want me to say? I fucked up.
You did.
That's all I wanted you to say. Thank you.
I've been looking at the lines. They've been talking. Reed, go ahead.
Last week, Chris, you were 2-1. Steve, you came back down to earth a little bit, 1-2. Macon 3-0.
That happened eventually. Macon had a big
standings, as it stands, Steve is at 12. Macon has 11 wins. Chris 8 wins. So you got a little closer.
It's called striking distance.
Back door is open.
Yeah, the back door is open. So this is a big week.
Right.
This is a big week. Let me it's a lot of scrolling.
Here you go, pimp.
Oh, thanks, pimp. I appreciate it. That's what the fuck I've been looking for. You're in the app. Okay.
Never not in the app.
Never not in the app.
What's the account say? What's the account at?
You can say that out loud. It's at the top.
Oh, his account plus $436.
Started a lot higher than that.
Okay. You know what?
That was not the deposit. That was.
I'm going to give out a total in tonight's Thursday night game. I think I'm going to go over.
Oh.
You know, Saints getting a receiver back. I know they're losing a lot of people, but they've been able to score no matter who's on the field. It feels like they found their groove a little bit with the. They're like Stella.
And Nuke.
Stella got her groove back, and so did Coach Carmichael and Alvin, and they're going to get and Nuke's coming back on the other side. That's what everybody's talking about. But the Saints are getting their young guy back, and so I'll take the over in this game, over 44.
Okay.
Yeah. Buckle up.
Steve, do you like the board? I don't like the board so much.
I love the board.
Oh. Okay. I will go with the Cleveland Browns getting 6.5 points in Baltimore.
Boy, do I hate that.
Really?
We're not usually on the same, or we're not usually on opposite
sides. Yeah, that
sides.
makes me feel bad.
Okay.
Chunt against a porous run defense.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Porous run defense, but I really do feel like they get it going again. I think this is a big get back game for Lamar, but I'm not giving that out. Steve, go ahead.
6.5 points.
That's a lot of points. But
a lot of points.
But everybody's saying that, right? Everybody's looking at that number and saying.
But it's a bit of a zag because the Pats just beat the brakes off them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not thinking about that.
Okay.
They got zappied.
Okay.
Go ahead, Steve.
The Giants are 5-1 and getting 3 from Jacksonville.
Taking the Jags.
Give me Jacksonville.
Fuck!
Yeah.
You had first pick.
I know, but I didn't think anybody was going to take it.
You get all horny with a Thursday. I guess. Oh yeah, you went to bed. You didn't watch the show last night.
Yeah, I did went to bed.
8 hours.
All right.
That's a good pick, Steve. You're making good picks.
You know,
thanks, buddy.
I'm like I feel like
Love
Mr. Crab here. I'm just spinning around trying to get my pick here. I got information. I got a board on one phone. I got my info on the other.
What do you think about my Cleveland pick, Steve? Frozen Steve.
Love it.
Okay, good. Because we're competing, or because you actually think the Browns are going to control time of possession?
Because we're competing.
Damn, he just totally. You know, and I'll take the Jets. I'll take the Jets. Whatever it's at, I'll put my nuts on the table. I think it's 1 now. I wish it was 3. I bet it at 3 for the record, so don't tell me I lost money if they don't cover. But I'm giving it out the Jets. Fuck it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But fucking indeed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 11 points, too many points, don't care.
Yeah.
They've been
covering machines.
This is 28-10. This is
it might
this
be.
is 31-9.
It could be.
Okay?
Could be.
Hey, I don't like it either. I don't like any of these this week.
You're right.
Tampa Bay Bucks.
You're right.
White Steve.
So many to pick from.
What's up with Tennessee and only 2.5?
Over. I looked at that, but over in the Packers-Commanders game, 41.5.
Okay.
I got some decisions to make here. I'm going with some totals, man. I'll go.
Did you already pick 3?
No, I've picked 2.
Oh, that's right. All right. Oh, I've left my.
I'll go. Gosh, I'm feeling the overs this week, which is a problem. I'm gonna go Miami and Pittsburgh over. I'll go Miami and Pittsburgh over. Although Tua may or may not still be concussed. Give me the fighting Dan Campbell's off a bye, catching a touchdown.
Oh, you took my pick.
Oh, that feels good.
Oh,
I'll take Detroit off a bye. Dan Campbell's had a ton of time.
I even texted you about that last night.
Oh, please.
You take a guy's
texted me about 15 things.
You take a guy's pick.
Well, hold on a second. Let's put into context. You texted me last night, which is a weekly occurrence. You texting me on a Wednesday night asking me what to play.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, absolutely necessarily.
No,
you think I'm texting you for plays?
No, we were talking. Actually,
yeah.
I think you were talking to me about Russell might not be going.
Yeah, I was giving you information, and then you hit me with a barrage of text messages of things you like.
I said, why is Tennessee not favored by 3.5? That's all I said, and then we.
So where's the Detroit thing?
I said I like Detroit.
Okay, good. You sent me 5 plays you like. You're just such a fucking cocksucker sometimes. Go ahead. All right.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. So good.
All right.
Jacksonville off the board, Detroit off the board. I will. Damn it. It's either Tennessee or Washington. It's either Tennessee laying 2.5 or Washington getting 5. I like Heineke.
Ooh, Heineke makes him better.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' hand is hurt.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, you have the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Who just beat Indianapolis by 7.
Yeah.
Coming off a bye.
Yep.
Colts are still bad, even though they're playing better.
Mm-hmm. Might want to look at the over in that game.
But it's a little bit of a stinker at 2.5. Not a full field goal.
You want to buy your half
Friday.
point?
Half point Friday.
I'll buy my half point somewhere in there. What did I have? I had 2 overs at like 44.
45.
45?
But then all I'm getting is a field goal, and then I'm pushing.
Can you pull up your
to
It's always me.
To mercifully bring this segment closer to a close.
Saints Cardinals 44. Right now on the WinBet app. Okay. So Saints Cardinals 44. You buying your half point here?
Give it to me with the pushing. Pushing's not a win, and we're just doing winners. Yeah,
we're just doing winners.
All right. So give me Tampa Bay down to 10.5.
Okay.
That's my half point.
Okay.
And I'll take the Washington Commanders plus 5 points at home against Green Bay.
Okay. So I'll buy the half point on the Detroit Lions because I would hate to land squarely at 37-30.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck, it's gonna be tough for them to score too, though. I don't know if I like the pick now. Okay, let's get out of here before we change all our picks.
Can I make my last one?
Yeah.
Broncos.
That's where I was all day yesterday, Steve.
I'm trying to pick. I'm just trying to do the smart. I'm trying not to outthink myself here.
I like the pick.
You know?
I read somewhere there's no better buy low, sell high situation than Denver Broncos, New York Jets, Week 7. And that's right.
All right. Y'all take care.
Matchups.
What else do we have? Oh, matchups. Matchups. I don't really have one. Me versus finishing this podcast.
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I guess that's a 2v11 versus that Baltimore Ravens run defense.
Steve?
Doug Peterson, Brian Dable.
Nice.
I want to see this Woolen kid D somebody up this weekend playing the Chargers. I don't know who he's going to be lined up across from.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Probably
Yeah.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams and Woolen's going to be fun. There's two big guys.
Will he perform as well as Pat did last week? PS2.
PS2, I like that.
Pat shut him down.
I think he might. It's
Bro.
tough 2 weeks.
Bro,
He did.
Herbert wouldn't throw the ball to frickin' Mike Williams, and he caught that 40 fucking.
No, he didn't.
He
Yes,
didn't know how to
he
get
did.
his
No,
feet down.
the foot was off
I
by
would
like a
have beaten
millimeter.
You would've
Frickin'
been-
Big Rodney in fantasy football. If
That was
catch
so
was a catch,
fucking funny, dude.
it was a barrel of laughs. Hey, how about the Falcons are without Casey Hayward? So look out,
The
Jamar
over
Chase,
there,
T.
dude.
Higgins.
Why didn't we bet the over?
Yeah, that would've been
We're going to
smart.
bet the over, too.
Okay,
All right.
Still have time.
Take care.
love you.
How is the fantasy football chat? Good?
Who
Text
cares?
thread?
They've settled down with the in-game commentary. Yeah.
Yeah, the nerve on these middle-aged guys texting about football.
But about 7 times, it's like, oh, Macon's team lost. Did you guys see that? Oh,
Maybe there's a reason.
0-5 beat 5-0. Can you believe that?
Well, that's
Frickin' fake football, you idiots.
okay.
Get lives.
He was 0-5?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He might be going to the...
Ooh, that's
Hey,
bad.
real quick, you guys weigh in on this. There's a haunted house. It's haunted by sex-crazed ghosts in
Yep.
Texas. We talked about it on the pod 2 days ago, and I'm wondering if maybe the loser of the fantasy league has to go there and spend 2 nights.
Well, the nice thing about all of our bets is that none of them have to be paid up.
Right, exactly. And none of them actually. Now people are gonna. I'm 2-4 or whatever it is, and now people want to, enact a penalty. Fuck y'all.
Well, but would you not want to go see some sexy ghosts?
Yeah, honestly. Ghost got that snapper. Y'all take care. Steve. Take it easy. Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.